Good night, everyone. Welcome to this another episode of the Sardicrest Show. Yes, tonight is Wednesday night, and as customary, we are expected to bring educational content. Unfortunately, for the past few weeks, sports has taken up so much of our time. I must say, I do apologize for those persons who really enjoy the educational content on a Wednesday night. And so I want to really ask of you, I hope you understand. Sports, football, schoolboy football, who I believe in recent time dominates the media, more so YouTube news, and more so this channel in a positive way. One of the things that really and truly, especially with education in recent time, or since the start of the school year, there's so much negative vibes. Yes, especially as it relates to violence among our students. And so those things would have, captured the minds of many. And that's one of the things that, I really and truly go towards a positive influence at times. And where the vibes flow, that's how it hits. They say when music plays, you feel no pain. Or when music hits, it feel no pain. When the vibes flow, that's where you have to go. Notwithstanding that though, tonight I'm expecting to have a guest in studio with me. And of course, a guest who we believe will take us through tonight in a better way, the way we think, especially as it relates to our topic tonight. So our guest tonight will be Dr. Linvern Wright. All right. As we go further, when he comes, then of course we'll look more into what we will discuss. I also want to welcome all the football fans in here. Regardless you come for football, it is education, and everything in this channel, everything on this show is educational, whether it's sports or entertainment. Am I right? Okay. So just bear with us. And of course, as things go by with it, at the end of this show, there are a few things we gotta look at as it relates to schoolboy football. So don't worry yourself. Just stick tuned, stay tuned, and we hope that all of us will be in at the same time. Now, people, grooming in schools. And this has been a very long-standing topic that administration after administration, school after school, school within schools, yes, parents, students have taken aback, I must say. Because in my opinion, I must say, grooming in school right now, people, and I'm going to speak it as it is. If you should check across the breadth, the length and breadth of Jamaica, grooming in schools is a joke thing. It is a joke thing in my mind because what I have seen and what we are experiencing. Gone are the days when uniform used to be uniform. Uniform in today's schools are right across Jamaica, I would say. Uniform is fashion. Grooming, the hairstyles. Going up and going to school, we have a schoolboy haircut, regardless of the age or the mindset that we have. Once you're going to school, the hair is cut in a particular way. Now, many of you out there, probably before my time going to school, you're not privileged to be attending schools with Rastafarians. And I say Rastafarians are those who grow the locks or wear locks. But we have seen where it's had evolved. The schools accepted those persons over time, which is good. I was told in the early days There are some schools, those who call themselves Rastas, right, could not even call the names of those schools. But I am not sure right now, people, if there's any school who is resenting, I would not accept one for their personal religious belief. So things have changed. But those changes would have been positive changes. The changes what we are seeing now are negative. Am I right? They are negative, people. It goes as far as take violence for some, what did I say, solutions. Going to school right now, you have to be careful. Many schools in Jamaica, more so the high schools, are deemed battlefields. Whether through the issue of bullying or a matter of outside violence. On the other hand, for many, the school is the safest place. While the students are at school, they are much safer than when they're at home. For a few. But traversing from home to school or from school to home, that also provides or poses a lot of danger. A whole lot of danger. So what is the impact, in your opinion? And you could, of course, state it in the chat. Do you believe a grooming policy, a wholesale grooming policy, will help or solve these problems? The problems of bullying, violence. Since the start of the school year, I think there are 3 known cases of, and trust me, I will say bullying. 3 cases of violence, students against students, where some students, or at least a few, have gotten life-threatening injuries. Thank God there's no death. The most popular case, people, that from the B.B. Cook High School. And there are so much lessons learned from that incident. Regardless of how terrible it was, we can safely say we still have good students. We still have sober persons in our society. The 4 or 5 young men who escorted their friend, their injured friend, badly beaten friend, to the doctor or the hospital. And you know, the more I watch the clippings of the young men transporting the little boy, the more I realize that we are heartless. En route to the hospital, there are a number of adults pass by, walking and driving. And based on the video clippings that I have seen, not one would have offered some assistance. One could say that there are different reasons why they don't. I understand that too. Or is it a case that these young men didn't give anybody else a chance to do it? They decided that they will. And one of the most touching situations from that at the hospital or the doctor, it was said that the victim thought They would have needed money. They need money to see the doctor. But there's one student who decided, don't worry, I will pay. Is he a good Samaritan? Is that the type of relationship that we need in our schools? Is it that we're going to look at those students and decide, or at least come up with our own conclusion or own assumption to say that this boy who offer that level of support is well bred? You remember that term? Yes. Properly grown up. Or is just simply kind? Now we have seen it many times. As soon as some ugly situations raise their head in our schools, it's just transfer from one school to the next. But I am happy that in recent time, there's not much reports of these violence. I've read where not the Prime Minister, but the Minister of Education, Honorable Favor Williams, would have said that they're putting in place some policies and actions that will reduce this sort of violence by 50%. And I think it has to do, or the deadline, at some time in November. How realistic is that? It is, because guess what? This is not the first time these things are happening in our schools. But if you notice, it's just for a time. It is a period of time. School reopening, and a lot of students come with the fashions and all sorts of things. But as soon as the real business of school starts, then of course, some of those incidents would have gone. Good night, dear Thompson. Blessed, blessed. Now, Dale, you're overseas, but I'm sure you're following what's happening. I was informed that recently, most recently, it was either yesterday or today, that a young boy would have gotten serious injuries sustained from stabbing by his own brother. His own brother, people. So the matter of violence right now is not so much in schools, but is that just basically among our young people. Yes. So that news coming out of Trelawney, unofficial news for me, where a young boy, yes, 14-year-old, was stabbed by his own twin brother. Is this Cain and Abel? So you can imagine, people, a total stranger, he would have killed him. We need not just divine intervention, because saying divine intervention, it is too wide. Everybody will pray. But how many of us are willing, yes, to stand up to say no in the open, not in your own private car or in your private homes, locked away and say so, or, The thing is, there are so many of us right across the spectrum, adults especially, who turned a blind eye. Gone are the days when the village would have grown up a child, right? No, it's not my business, so I will not deal with that. But until it reaches our doorstep, people, that is the time you'll hear the voices. That is the time. And I'm saying that to say because some years ago, the matter of wearing these Clarks to school, many schools have banned them. Many schools. And I bet many of you have not really stopped to think the reason behind that. But there are some persons who have believed that nothing is wrong with a boy or a girl wearing a Clarks to school. Well, nothing is really wrong. But what happened is the image that is depicted, yes? The image that is being created by these fashion dressing to school. And we don't have to go back to with the BB Coke situation. It was a Clarks that caused it. Whether the young man accidentally stepped on the other one or it was done purposely, I don't know. But because there's no love, there's no kindness, we do not accept sorry anymore. But I remember, especially those students who wear those Clarks to school, people, when you visit those bathrooms in the school, the white tiles turn black. The floors, the walls, the cistern, the basin, the shower areas, the toilet seats, because that's where they go to clean it. So it actually provided a lot of negative impact on the schools and our other students, not just how you see it, but even health hazard to other students and to the entire school population, if you ask me. But again, leave the boy, make him wear what he want to wear. I know the clocks are wear. I know the hairstyle are wear. I know hit a learn. Yes? So leave them. But I would love to know now how much learning in schools, how much school curriculum, how many topics from the different subject areas that same violent conducted youth. How much is he learning now? Is he still in school? Is he in class? That is the fashion. Because they put fashion over pride, fashion over education. And nothing is wrong with a child dressing and looking good to school. But may I tell you, if some of these dressing may miss who no call good people, and I'm talking about especially the parents, 3/4 pants, one desert clogs. No, sir. I said them for dress good go to school. That is a fashion, and that's what it brings on. This fashion brings on all the other negative things. You don't have time and space to do your schoolwork. You have to spend the time keeping your shoes, maintaining your shoes clean. There are some of these cars that water can't touch them. The moment water touch them, they fade away. The moment water touch them, they fade away. What I am saying, until Mr. Wright join us, which I believe will join us soon. In your opinion, people, and I want you to type in the chat. Remember, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. All right? Share the Study Press content. And of course, if you have not yet done so, please subscribe. In the chat, I want you to put your opinion in the chat. I'm going to ask you this question, which I have for Mr. Wright. In your opinion, people, what do you think what is the cause or causes of this type of violent behaviors in our schools? Big up RR. Big up yourself, man. The P-Bar squad large. So the serpent look out time, big guys. All right. What, in your opinion, RR, What do you think cause? What is the causative effect or causative agents for this type of violent behaviors in our school? Think about it. Do you think that boy who actually beat that young man for stepping on his class, do you think you'd have done the same thing if he was wearing a regular gentleman shoes, a regular school shoes? Do you think so? Or say bad parenting? Hi, bad parenting is another story, you know. I can't take on the bad parenting on my own. People, I must apologize for Mr. Should I say Dr. Wright, who is not yet here, but I think you'll soon. He had a PTA this evening that ran very late, so I'm not sure if he has completed that session, but he will be here. Nothing is PG rated again. The world is vain now, sir. Yes, there are so many things. The changes. But I'm telling you, there are some students, some children who are properly grown up. At home, they are good. But the moment they come to school, different child. Totally different. Again, there are some students, when they come to school, them see certain things. You may have the students who have never seen a Clark's and somebody's foot until they come to school. Because those parents are saying, this is not the time for Clark's. Regular school shoes, and let's go. Follow school's rule, proper length of uniforms, yes, proper pants, not those close jockey looking pants. Oh Lord, not that I read it in but people, I have to be fair. It's your comment, and it's your view, and it's your show. I'm not reading it, but I'm gonna put it up. You can talk what you mean by it. So I alone busy, Bridging, Dave. Wow. The thing is, as you mentioned, there are two individuals in this country, who I believe really cherish the Clarks and probably give the impact to these students. A long time Clarks are wearing up people. I know today. And if some of you remember, if you are old enough to know Vikings, you know those shoes? Clarks and Vikings were for some special people. Those people who wear them thing them, man. Trust me. Don't even want to call them name. The persons who are wearing them now weren't the same persons wearing them back then. But there are two persons who I strongly believe, yes, would have, created this sort of atmosphere as it relates to the class. The examples of the adults are very important to the children growing up. Aye. R, let me say this to you. You see, if you call out every word, every letter, if you are playing with what you're saying, I will read them, but I don't want you to leave me to think of somebody we're talking. No. The half job word business where they pan. It's okay for you, and I will look at them. But then, of course, that's all. I'll post them. I will post them. As long as I think it's not derogatory, which I don't, but I will not read it myself. All right. Not going to call any names right now, but I'm just saying that the influence that we have. There's another big issue I want to look at. I'm still waiting on Dr. The other big issue, the fact that the Ministry of Education has stated that schools will have to find ways and means, yes, to discipline our students. When there's no real guideline, people, there's no real guidelines in our authority to discipline these students. Again, when you look at a grooming policy, kids are loose now. That is so true. They are so loose. When you look at the grooming policy, almost every school, I will testify that schools have their own grooming policy. Every schools have their own grooming policy. Every school have their own disciplinary action, their own disciplinary, I mean their own policies that governs the running and operation of the schools. But you know what the problem is? The Ministry of Education, and by extension, many of us Jamaicans, do not support these schools administrators with their policies or their rules. That is the problem. Mark, good night, my boss. I don't believe there is no singular reason. Bad parenting, peer pressure, and we might not think much of it. But maybe mental issues are more widespread than we are willing to admit. Was it yesterday was World Mental Health Day? So very good point, Mark. There's a whole lot of a myriad of challenges that our students and our parents are facing. So I know there is no one reason. But if you zoom into this thing and see what would have caused these violent conducts, Mark, then we can limit. We can zoom in on some of these reasons. Because I don't believe mental health would have caused another child to but bruise the next one in the sense of in the case of the BB Coke one, overstepping of his rules. That's not mental health. It probably, I don't sure if I even want to link it to bad parenting either. I'm not blaming that on bad parenting, not at all. Even though when we look at bad parenting, we're talking about instilling the real things in our children, yes? Or social graces that are missing, values and attitudes. Bible need back in the schools. And oh boy, love need to be taught. Sunday school empty. Yeah man, Sunday and Sabbath school. But I remember the school can only do so much and no more. That's why we had those Sunday schools and these clubs and societies and all of that. These youth clubs in communities, community youth clubs, yes? Not just for danship or to run the community, but it's to help to instill certain values in our students, in our children, in our young ones. So the Bible back in school, the Bible has never left the schools. But I do understand because right now there are some school administrators, there are some denominations saying, listen, it's this way or no way at all. And because of that, certain things like devotional exercises, yes, praying in the open, as that you're saying, is going away. It's really going away. Deteriorating, yes. Why I keep looking for Dr. Wright, People, I can't do this show alone. And I want these little interests to take up. All right, so let me carry us to another level of question. I want to Does the wearing of certain clothes or certain shoes affect learning? Does the wearing of certain shoes or certain clothes affect learning? So I want you to think about it. Please think about it, people. So we're at 31 minutes. So we'll go for another 9 minutes, and if Mr. Wright is not, we'll take it to another level. And then we'll close the show and start one for our sports show. But really and truly, people, do you think the wearing of these clothes, these fashions, these type of shoes affect learning? Class is significant to me. I went to a nightclub. My friends had sneakers, no entry for them. I loaned my clerks to help about six of them to enter in my clerks. So you say certain nightclubs only clerks can wear no sneakers. Well, fine. Do you have to visit that nightclub? Is that nightclub have everything that you want? Is it a clerk's show and not a nightclub? So these are things we have to answer, and these are things you have to tell to your children. You have to let them know, listen, what to choose. Is it you choose the club or you choose the nightclub? So what could cause a supposedly mentally sound boy to beat a fellow student to within inches of his life over something as trivial as stepping on his shoe? What could have caused a supposedly mentally sound boy? My word. Mark, that's a very tough question. But the only thing that I could say in that life, there is no love in that little boy. No love at all. What would have been interesting if it was a female student, if it was a little girl who had stepped on his shoes, what actions would he take? That's another question. Because we want to look at it to see if there's a sort of masculine, yes, where man is a man and boy is a boy. But what would have happened? What would he do if it was a female student who stepped on his shoes? Can we make a calculated guess to come up with an answer? Well, this calculated guess maybe is a bet, and I'm not gambling, but it is the reality though. And I want to read this again, man. So, what could cause a supposed mentally sound boy? Here you go again. Maybe you hear saying no mentally sound, because he's before the court. He was charged, he was released, so he's still before the court. Yes, man, a breakdown of society. I don't know how many of you know, but back in the days, especially in the country, when there are two vehicles met in an accident, let's say a car, nice car, and an old pickup truck. Touch that nice car, you know, the old truck, they're tough, very, very tough, hard, difficult to manage, difficult to break down. People fight over accidents. You hit my car, I come out and I just miss some licks, stone and sticks throwing at you. And they have insurance from them time. But no, it's a little different. It's a little different. I would have understand that there's no real reason, and I'm not quantify, or should I say, comparing situations. But you look at it, say, boy, a little man with a ladder hit your Benz. When they check it out, the ladder don't even insure. as opposed to a fellow school you going to school, you have a shoes to step on your shoes. And you realize when you're hitting the first time, that is just a little touch, a slap on the wrist. And you have to go to the extent to which you use that very same cloths, I believe, to kick and batter bruise the young. And this is where I say to the people, every action there is a reaction. For every action there is a reaction. And I'm not sure I'm seeing the sort of reaction in this case. Really and truly, and I'm gonna say this. These are the same little things that the young men are seeing and knowing that, listen, I will get away with anything that I do. And that is why we have so much murderers, so much murder in our country, because nobody cares. They will just decide to go and spend the 5 or 4 years or pay X amount of money and they're back out. So they're getting this privilege from now. People, this may be tough. This may be tough for you, but I'm telling you, that boy should have faced some time. Yeah, man. He should have faced some time behind bars, not hiding it. Let him get him counseling behind bars, people. I know that people come out and say, no, he's just a kid. Yes. And he can't go behind bars with adults. Did you ever even thought that the young man was beaten so badly? You thought that he went on the kids' wards? Eh? You tell me. If he had lost his life or lost sight of an eye, what would have happened? You're saying that he will get back his sight because he's a kid? That's how a lot of people view it. As a principal, what would be your formula? RR, you have to break down. Formula for what? RR. The general situation, no. I am in a very tricky situation as a principal. I remember RR when the company showing up, I don't come as a principal here. So I remember that, please. But the fact is, the reality of it, yes, I am. So you're asking as a principal, what would be your formula? No, historically, in the primary settings, there's not so much a rigidity or rules. The rigidity of rules or the concept of the rules that are really stuck, especially to uniform and so they're expected to wear their uniform, but it's okay for them to they could drift away from the uniform. And I believe it is so because they have time to catch up, to learn. Why is it important to the uniform? That is, I'm coming back to your suggestion. I'm coming back, I'm giving you suggestions. The way this younger generation glorifies songs that promote murder and other serious crimes depicts a sad future for the next generation. Mark, big man, you couldn't say it any better. You couldn't have said it any better, sir. That is so true. That is so true. So now we have to look at it and say, who should we blame? Is it the DJs, the producers, the promoters, or the parents? I wonder why, because when I was growing up and singing songs, I don't know what the song they mean. I know there are some meanings to it, but I couldn't know. I was too young for that. But right now, people, no matter how young is a child singing and dancing to a song, they know exactly what's going on. They know what the messages are. All right, so suggestion again. as you said. I am 150% agreeing with having your grooming policy, having the different disciplinary policies for our students. I'm not expecting that a child or every children will go through school with this high level discipline. No, man. We all lose it at some point. But if you have things in place and these things are being agreed upon by parents and students, then it's easy. So one of my suggestions that I'll give you are from day one, we need to get our children, our students, and our parents signing. Having developed these policies, the parents and the students should supposed to sign in agreement. Not sign to say that they see it. Sign in agreement of such policy. They should read it. Sign in agreement. So I'll say this to say no. Whatever policies we are going forward with, and for those which we have already, we ought to bring it back. We need to now put a page in it, a back page, a last page for the parents and the children's signature. Yes, I know that some schools have their handbooks, and at the back page of the handbook, that commitment, yes, that agreement page is there. You have to sign it, tear it out, and then you leave that with the school. But what's happening now at my little school that I talk about here, that I have? These are the little things that we put in place. We're from the infant stage, from the early childhood, from age 4, the parents have to be signing these policies. And we have some serious policies. It's all right. Are you coming, sir? Please let me know. We have some serious policies now. So again, we have to know, and it's not too late, people. So another suggestion that I will have, I'll put across, and I will say it now because I strongly believe it. I try to enforce it. Every policy that is developed in your school, every single student must read them and sign in agreement to them. Now, the next part of it, if they are not agreeing, if they don't agree, how do you work out that? Well, here you go again, and you have to have another settings of policy. All right? Let's say the policy of clerks, not to wear clerks in school. First of all, you have to look at the impact, use data to bring about these things. And the data are there. How many fights, yes? How many violent conducts have been executed in our schools over clerks? And when you put it across, people, when you put it across to Tom, Dick, and Harry and said, this is what will happen to you if you step on somebody else's class. This is what will happen to you if somebody step on your class. Because not all the time the persons who start the fight will win. Not all the time. Which side would you want to be? I don't know if you remember this, people, but while I was in grade 8, I believe, and we're doing biology, I don't forget. And people, this may be a bit disturbing, but if it is, just bear with me. We have to use it. When we're doing STIs in biology class, I remember teacher brought some chart and put it on the board. And those charts would have depicted the different sex organs. Yes? And from that, the visual, what would I say now? The visual complexity of these charts, the visual arrangement, when you look at them, trust me, you don't want to be in such positions. I remember when it shows the chart with the penis and those who have a particular sexual disease and what would have happened. Everybody. Well, I can tell you for me. So if you get yourselves involved in such behavior activities, this might happen to you. Would you want this to happen? So using that sort of imagery, you know, we have to show them the same Clark situation, and you call upon certain people and such man and say, would you want to be like this man? Them are gonna say yes. But if you give them a part B to the question, would you want to be where this man is? I am sure they will say no. So these are some simple suggestions. Maybe they're not fitting because I'm the host tonight. But I will tell you, if we try these little things, then we're on a good path. On a very good path. All right? So we're what, 45, 47 minutes, people, in our show, and you have not seen Mr. Right. Well, let's go. I want to close the show in the next 3 minutes. The other thing, people, that I notice in our schools or in our education system, there's a difference in thinking, yes, between the Ministry of Education and our schools in Jamaica as it relates to indiscipline. There's a difference in thinking. And one other thing I'm going to say in terms of the difference in thinking, maybe just this for now, because I wanted questions coming from that, answers really. While the schools are saying this is what we are doing to punish or to rectify these behavior, they say not to use the word punish, right? Punish is punish. But because I say that this is what I will do, the powers that we say no, you can't do that. Use the guidelines. But what are the guidelines to deal with these issues? What are the guidelines that BB Coke would have followed, people, after the fact, to deal with that little boy? No, tell me. And I'm gonna say this again. If you're not careful, that same boy gonna get involved again. He's gonna do similar, probably worst, because there is no level of punishment given out to him. And yes, you're gonna tell me that it's there, it's in front of the court. When? Next year, this time, the court's still going on. And the poor youngster still living with the pains and bruises that was handed out to him. Cadet, Boy Scout, Girl Guides need to be a compulsory extra curriculum. Helps to curb discipline. Yes, that is true. That is true. But here you're going, because again, how the society is now and what are the thinking, what is behind certain things. A child can tell you that he or she doesn't want to join the cadet. They don't want to be a Boy Scout. They don't want to be a Girl Guide. What can you do? They are compulsory. But what you do if it, what can you do, RR? Yes, to a child would tell you that, listen, to be a Boy Scout, that is not in my thinking. That will not help me in my career choice. Because that's all they think, That's how it is, and you have to listen to them. So again, if you say that it's a compulsory, within your handbook, the signature of both parents and students will take. And I implore on the parents, once you have signed in agreement with this, that is how, that is what your child will operate. That is all. Again, in in South Korea, military is a must. And that's what I'm saying. You have to have the will. Nobody not talking about China that they have the interest there. But it is here in Jamaica, sir. It is. I hope that certain choice don't come here, you know. When we say I hear if I go on a land in Florida, you know, we just I hope it don't reach you. Because when you reach a stage now where a particular person or a particular sex can tell you that, yes, today I am she, I'm not now he, as opposed to yesterday when they were there. No, 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 no. So this is what I am saying. And as much as you're talking her, maybe that is right where you are, you know, and you can't say anything about it. Maybe the he she thing is right at your doorstep, right at your workplace. But we have to live with it. But if it when these things come to our own shore, you know, boss, to deal with this is another problem. And so if we don't have this sort of collaborative effort right now, parents, students, teachers, all stakeholders in our schools, I'm telling you, we won't get any better. Won't get any better. So I suggest to my fellow teachers, colleagues, that we need to get some agreement, some buy-in from the parents. Yes, but be respectful. Yes, you understand what I'm saying? You can only say that no, and yes, we are expecting them to be respectful. But the sad story about it, it is there. And very little we can do. We have to just live with it. Mark, I think you come here tonight for a reason, you know. So yeah, make a few talk or you continue here, sir. Sad future for the next generation. Sad, sad future. But it is what it is. The same reggae that we glorified some years ago. Change. The whole plan change. All right. The final one that I want to leave with you, people. Final one I want to leave with you. Pastor, big up a self coach. We are facing a societal problem. All hands on board are needed. Yes, Mas, no joke, to try and solve the problem of indiscipline, immoral behavior we have seen among our youths. Where does it start, though, bro? Home or early schooling? That's why you know me have to big you up on that one day. Long time we don't hear Mr. Reynolds on this show, but you know, it's education, and I tell you people, everything comes to the fore in our educational content. But saying that though, Master, saying that to say, all hands on deck, as they say, all hands on deck. But where do we start? I say, where does it start? Is it home or early schooling? Are you on point? You know? Early schooling is a must, and hope that they don't deviate from the principles that are taught. Just hope. Because in the early days, early schooling, I can tell you, in the home too, all of us were saints. All of us. So where it went? And where it went wrong? Listen now. If you can recall, people, grade 7, 8, and 9 going to high school, we were good students. But as soon as we reached that grade 10 level, There's a different, there's a difference in how we think. We start see ourselves as adults, and nobody remember where they are coming from. That is the situation. So it has to start early. Really has to start early. So people, until then, what are the possible solutions to this problem? There are some schools, village always crucial. Yes, man. Always. And that's why in the communities, in the villages, every senior, every adult is your father, is your parent, is your aunt. Because they will have to help. They help grow you. But the major problem, though, why this is so difficult to curb. Listen, one of the things is that, and I hope that this one would have bring about some level of security, I believe. Let me check something. Listen to it now. In this situation that we're having, we're talking about grooming. We're talking about grooming people. There are some schools in Jamaica. There are some schools in Jamaica who don't mind the students dress anyhow to school. There are some schools in Jamaica who tolerate the hairstyle any and anyhow. And then you have other schools who are strict, who don't want this sort of dress code or grooming in their school. So because there's a twist and there's a difference in thinking, and some people mind it, some don't, it's gonna be very, very hard for us to crack. So as the Minister of Education, the Honorable Favour Williams, stated earlier and continued to say that there will be a fulsome grooming policy that every single school will have to be adhered to. It must be. We need those policies, and then we can probably draft our own little ones, yes, to mirror that big policy. And by so doing, Honorable Favour, by so doing, please ensure that you have different persons assisting with the implementation of these policies, not just the principals or the teachers in such schools. If we continue to have difference in opinion in this light, in these issues, then the problem will grow. The problem will get bigger. So, Mark, the ministry sometimes get general guidelines for a criteria. Doesn't work because sometimes it needs to be treated individually. Sometimes the teacher at each school should be given flexibility. Yes, there are some level of flexibility in the schools. Every schools develop their own guidelines, Mark, and rules. But the problem I have when the schools handed down these rules or these sort of punishment, the Ministry of Education do not support them. They believe it is too harsh. And I'm not saying that all those things that were handed down by schools are good enough, are the right thing. But I am saying if school A said this is what will happen if you breach, that will happen. But the human rights and the whole rights here and rights there is another problem. Serious problem. Crab circle seems to be a hot issue versus the class. So one of my fans called me tonight, we were talking, and I said, listen, man, how come you do education tonight? You know, see a footballer go on. Listen, don't bring me in the crab circle thing right now. Here, sir. I don't think Sadiq has reached a stage yet that we can take on all the topics, all the social issues. You know, I need that level of support before I can even attempt to do so. So if there's anyone here who would love to be or assist me in developing the program, yes, the podcast, the streaming, whatever it is, I'm happy for your support. I will be happy for your support. If there's anyone who wants to be a producer of the show, I will accept that too. Because it is not easy, people, for me to prepare for these shows. Not easy. It's not easy for me to stream game by game or come here at night, every night to do a podcast. So the support is needed, all right? So again, I'm open. The number, you have my number. You come on the show, let us talk. All right? So Vassal got some connects. What is that? So Vassal, what are you talking about? People, can I close the show and just reopen another show for 20 minutes? I don't want it to be on this. A matter of fact, mm, maybe. Should we? All right, since we are here, let's go for another 20 minutes. And we're just going to look at any other issue. All right? I see RR trying to call out Sir Vassal. Sir Vassal, do you would you like to address RR or the situations or the question that RR posting tonight? Vassal, hot topic to you know. Vassal, I know that Vassal is really hot topic. So I post the link in the chat, people. So we have 20 minutes. If you wish to come in and participate, then fine, you can do so. All right. So again, big up to all of you who are in the back seat, who are in their couch relaxing, maybe in their beds. You don't want to share any information in the chat. Maybe you don't want people to know that you are here. Still love you, still like your and appreciate you. Your um, joining us or to be a part of this family. All right. So, some guests for the show. Yes, RR. If you could get some guests for the show, that would be good. Yes, I have a few people who still giving me that time. They soon come. They will be there. They will be here, but still, giving them time. I'm sure right now I used to carry a lot of coaches. Everybody busy coaching these days. Nobody don't want to give away anything. As if Sir Vassal come in and then come in for one of the show nights. Vassal would never. I've never seen Vassal since competition start come in and participate on one of the show nights we're doing football. But you see him jumping now because it's education. You don't really have a time because he's afraid to put across or to let go certain information that is privy to him and Casey. That's the reality of it. Wesley, I'm a friend, but we all know it. All right, so yes, RR. So yes, some guests. All right, most definitely. Hey, man, I tell you, sometimes when you see me come on, I have some guests line up, But last minute, even like tonight, trust me, I know that this show would have been good. Gibo, oh my God, was a past student. Yeah, man, Gibo, past student of the Adrenaline High School, past head boy. You sure you want to talk about Gibo tonight? I'm going to have a show with the people, and the topic of that show, remembering Gibbs Williams, Gibbo Williams. That's what we're going to do for half an hour one night. All right? We're going to call out people to come and give their views, give their little say, have a little talk. I don't want to say tribute, not tribute, not giving any tribute. But, just to express some words, express themselves how much they can remember the great Gibbs Williams. All right? A whole lot. Gibbs had made it in its own way. Would you believe a humble little man who have actually given so much to education and sports in Jamaica? Again, people, we don't know what is what. It's just unfortunate. Nobody should be murdered. You understand? Can't accept anybody at all murdering someone for whatever reason it is. But it is life. It is part of our harsh reality here in Jamaica. It's just a part. And I'm happy that's we only have two cases. There's one a day or two before this Williams death. A principal was shot at. Um, she never got any injury. And this now a vice principal. So, it leaves a little bitter taste, wondering if this is the type of, situations that we are going through now, or will we go through. I was told, I was told that Gibbs Williams never played any cricket at all at high school. I heard he was more involved in football than cricket. Good night, at Sadi and everyone. Emma Bats, I don't know who is this. I cannot call that name. Can you pronounce your name for me, sir? Give me the Jamaican or the English conversion for the language. Convert that language. I don't know if it is Chinese or Japanese or which is, but could you just convert so I can address it by name? I don't know what to say, and you're such a very good fan of the Saudi Chris show. Thank you very much in advance. Yes, man. So I was told that Gibbs never played cricket there. Oh, Miss Chin, I am a woman. Thank you very much. You see, I would know. I would know. I'm not seeing so very well on that picture. But thank you very much, Miss Chin. Very good person at the show, No, maximum respect. All right. So, people, I'm not sure if everybody here right now knew Gibbs. I don't know. Are you know him? Or you just heard about him? But trust me, Gibbs is a fun man. Trust me. Funny, funny old boy. Funny, funny youth. He's fun to be around. I remember I said this thing about Gibbs that Gibbs let me laugh for about 2 months. And one activity, we were playing a cricket match. I think I said it on the show the other night. And the very last delivery of the innings, I had it to face. It was a very good one. And I just paddled it around, fine leg. Just for one, because there was a field around there coming up. So I just run the simple run the run. Or your colleague fill it in. All right, thanks. And by the time I could turn around, it's Gibbs that coming back. Run with it, run. And I just run. And I saw the run the man. Hey, the players just throwing the ball, overthrows everything. Everybody got just get mad. We run about seven. May I tell you the truth? I don't even remember how it was recorded. Maybe we can check it in. And people, for those who play JT Cricket for St. Catherine, if they are still Gerald Morgan with it, if there are scorebooks that are still available, you could check it out. But we run about 7 times. I don't know what was recorded. If it's 7 runs, 6 runs, 8, I don't know. But we just kept running, and the man couldn't hit the wicket at all with the overthrows. So yes, Miss Chin, yeah, you heard about his death. So sad. Condolences to his family and friends. Yes, for real. Miss Chin saying good night to you, Mark. So Miss Chin, you're running away already. All right, that's okay. We won't be staying here for much longer either. But remember, people, tomorrow is Thursday. Um, I, I might have a review show. We'll have a review show tomorrow because there's a number of games on for tomorrow. The number, and I never prepare anything for football tonight, so I could not share much. All right, but most definitely, Friday night will be very hectic. People, I'll be in Kingston for the entire day at a training session. So, not sure what time I'll be back, but I'm sure I tried my very best. So, I'll be back to have a 9 p.m. show on Friday night. Christian, I had to use me, sir. Christian says, you me laughing at about run. you are trying to tell me, Mr. We can't run, or we could run. Yeah, man, good memories, trust me. No, I'm telling you, after that match, I laughed every single day for about a month. Yeah, man, for about a month, we just laugh. Yes, because I never thought of it. And what's really fun about it, I'm telling you, we just going by and no one could have ever hit that wicket. Even when both of us in the center of the pitch, the ball just flying past the wicket and we couldn't hit. So it was a good thing, trust me. As I said before, never thought about it, never know it could happen. But I learned that from Gibbs and listen, you know what coming out of that? Never stop. Never give up until the very last. And I'm sure, people, I'm sure that he gave a fight, yes? I don't think he give in or he give up. I think, I'm not gonna say they, I think death got the better of Gibbo last Friday. People, leave Gibbo team. One next time. Can't manage Gibbo right now. As I say, we're gonna have a show, remember Gibbo, and that's it. For now, trust me. So, Miss Chin, I know you like the football show. Mark, anything that you want to look at today? Anything? Well, if not, people, this is where I'm going to leave you tonight. All right. And I want to say bye. Sorry that our guest did not turn up for tonight. And hopefully that will happen very, very soon. But as you know, we are getting to the Grenada versus Reggae Boys. Ah, Mark, I eat him dinner. Mark, I saw later eat dinner. Hey, no, sir. Miss Chin, what you had for your dinner? So you could have finished already. Hey, you know what? I'm not getting into that something. Yeah, Mark, want to talk about the dinner. We're not getting involved. We're not getting involved in them and then dinner thing. Rundown. Where you had rundown? You had the heritage celebration today. I had some today now, some mackerel rundown today. Bad. Yeah, man. But me never get any breadfruit with it. Oh, you cook it. Where you use mystery? Where you have mackerel rundown or what? I mean, yes, everything can make rundown and stew peas these days, you know. I'll can beef. So then where you use make a rundown mystery? Hey, I tell you, people just saw this show are nice and the family nice. I really enjoy the company. The mystery say, oh, saltfish. Wow. Plain real coconut. Chat about. It's a cooking show, Mark. Ah, Miss Chin, I show you like a thing, man. Hmm. Miss Chin, which team you support? Which football team you support? Dakasta Cup or Manning Cup, Miss Chin? Let me know. A real cooking show. You hear that, Miss Chin? You need to be on the show. So just let me know. I will just organize one of those evening you're doing your exotic cook or meal. Exotic because I know that you must have some exotic menus and meals. You know, when you talk about you blend up your real coconut, you know you're not joking. All right, so we work on that for your RR. Sure, Miss Chin will come out blazing. Hey, boy. All right, Miss Chin, I'm asking you before I go, which football team do you support? It seems like you're a Reds fan though, as it relates to Premier League. I'm talking about local. The Doncaster Cup CC. Oh, wow. Okay. You have a Manning Cup team? come like that back here. Leave the little cooking alone, no, man. I know your thing is a mystery. Broccoli and fried rice, shrimp. Shrimp fried rice. You come with your back way talk. R. We put it make everybody say right. Osh. See bar man in cup. All right. Fine. Fine. Not bad at all. All right. So now we know we can address you. You give your take on these games. All right. You think see bar guy make it out of this second go to second round? I tell you. All right, people. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miss Chin. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, RR. I want to say thank you, Mr. Lee. Also, we have earlier Vassal. How can I forget you? Respect big time, man. Thank you very much for tuning in and giving us, share with us what you believe in your piece. Dale Thompson, the early man who come in and probably fell asleep. Thank you all. Thank you for joining and thank you for the continued support as we continue to move. All right. So, Mr. Lee, Upsardi and friends, get Miss Chin in the studio. She will one of these nights. All right. But not tonight because we are closing. So, I promise that. Miss Chin, please just let me know. Maybe Friday night, Miss Chin. But you have to be early, though, Miss Chin. You have to come and show it. And I said early. So we can do that, please. All right. And we talk a little about your good CC and, of course, your not so good Calabar. Thank you. Good night, people. Have yourselves a wonderful night. All right. Blessings. Remember, people, Friday night, we're going to look at how the teams will be selected for the second round. All right. Fine. So, Friday night, that's what we're going to look at. How the teams will be selected, how the ranking will be, and of course, we'll have everyone. Again, so good night, everyone, and have a blessed night. See you.